You ever do something so stupid that halfway through, you swear you can hear your future self laughing at your corpse? That's how I feel right now. Because I actually thought hiring a clown online was a good idea. It started 3 nights ago. I was planning a surprise for my little brother's birthday. He's turning 7, and he's obsessed with clowns. Not the funny kind, the creepy kind. He spends hours watching those horror videos, laughing like they're cartoons. So, like an idiot, I thought, hey, why not make his day unforgettable? I searched for clown performer rental at 2 a.m. I was tired, half-buzzed on cheap whiskey, scrolling through endless ads. Then I found one. Just a plain black screen with white text. Real clowns. Real fun. Anytime, anywhere. No phone number, just an email and one line in bold. We promise you'll never forget us. That should have been my first red flag. But I didn't care. I clicked. I sent an email, and they replied within minutes. Booking confirmed. Payment upon arrival. Expect us after midnight. After midnight, for a kid's birthday party. That was the second red flag. But I thought maybe they were just being edgy for marketing. I replied cool and sent my address. And then, nothing. No confirmation, no questions, nothing. The next night, I woke up around 3 a.m. to a soft ding on my phone. It was a message. We're ready. Do you still want the show? No profile picture, no name, just that text. I stared at it, my heart thudding for no reason I could explain. I typed yes, and the moment I hit send, my phone buzzed again. Open the door. I froze. My apartment is on the 5th floor. The door they meant was the one at the end of the hall, the one I had locked before going to bed. Slowly, I stood up and peeked through the peephole. The hallway was empty, silent, the kind of silence that feels heavier than noise. I almost laughed. They're screwing with me, I thought. I texted back, very funny. Come tomorrow at noon. Seconds later, another reply, we don't do tomorrow. My skin prickled. Something about those words felt final. I ignored them, put my phone face down, and went back to bed. But as soon as I closed my eyes, I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Slow, deliberate knocks echoing from the end of the hallway. I didn't move. I couldn't. Another knock, louder. Then a laugh, low, wet, like someone choking on their own breath. And I swear, I could hear it getting closer. The laughing stopped, just like that, gone. I sat there in bed, fists clenched, trying to convince myself I was dreaming. Maybe the whiskey, maybe stress, maybe I just imagined it. But then, my phone lit up again. One new message. We're inside. I swear my blood turned to ice. My eyes darted to the door. It was still locked. I ran to it, heart pounding so hard it felt like it would tear through my chest. The chain was still on. Everything looked normal. Then came another sound. Hoo honk! That long, stupid squeak of a clown horn coming from somewhere behind me. I spun around so fast I almost fell, but the living room was empty, the TV off, the shadows just sitting there, thick and heavy. I backed up slowly, phone shaking in my hand, and typed, "Who the f are you? How did you get in?" No reply, just the sound of something soft dragging across the floor, like rubber, coming from the kitchen. I wanted to call the cops, I really did, but there was this sick part of me that needed to see, needed to know. So I walked to the kitchen. Every step creaked louder than the last. My apartment suddenly felt enormous, like the walls were stretching. I reached the doorway, and nothing. Empty, but the window was open. I never leave it open. Cold air slid across my skin like icy fingers, and that's when I saw it, on the counter. A single red balloon. Perfectly inflated, tied with a neat little bow. I picked it up with trembling hands. It had something written on it. Black marker, big letters, smile. That's when the lights went out. The whole apartment drowned in darkness. My phone was the only light, the glow painting everything in pale blue. And then ping, another message. Are you ready for the show? I didn't reply. I couldn't. My hands were slick with sweat, and my breath was coming out in short, sharp bursts. Then another sound, different this time. Shoes. Big, heavy shoes squeaking on the floor. I aimed my phone toward the hallway, and my stomach dropped. There he was. A clown. 7 feet tall at least, skin pale like rotting paper, hair jagged and matted, sticking out in orange clumps. The ruffled collar around his neck was stained dark, brown, almost black, and his mouth, too wide, smiling like it was carved into his face. But the worst part? His eyes. They glowed. Not bright, not like headlights, just this dull, pulsing amber, like something alive was moving behind them. He tilted his head when he saw me, and in this voice, this rasping, guttural growl, He said, "You called us." Then the horn squeaked again, and behind him, I saw movement. Because there wasn't just one clown, there were more. They poured into the hallway like shadows breaking loose from the walls. 4 more clowns, each worse than the last. Their bodies were wrong, arms too long, spines bent like broken marionettes. And the way they moved, jerky, twitching, like they weren't made for this world. I couldn't breathe. My brain screamed run, but my legs wouldn't obey. The first one, the tall one, dragged his nails along the wallpaper as he stepped closer. The sound was unbearable, like knives grinding against glass. "Please," I whispered, my voice cracking. "What do you want?" He stopped. The others froze too, heads tilting in perfect unison, like they were listening to something only they could hear. Then slowly, he crouched down until his glowing eyes were level with mine. That smile never moved as he rasped, "Payment." That's when I realized I never asked how much. I bolted, sprinting toward the door like a trapped animal, fumbling at the lock with shaking hands. Behind me, laughter exploded, high-pitched, broken, overlapping like a choir of lunatics. The chain jammed, my fingers slipping on sweat, and then, crash, the door frame splintered as something slammed into it from the inside. They weren't even trying to stop me. They were playing with me. I ran for the window, but before I reached it, something yanked my ankle. I hit the floor hard, my phone skidding out of reach. Nails dug into my skin, long, sharp, curling like hooks. I kicked, screamed, twisted until I felt something tear. Blood slicked my leg, but I didn't care. I scrambled up and lunged for the kitchen knife block. My hands shook so bad I almost dropped the blade, but when I turned, he was right there, inches from my face. That smile was wider now. His jaw hung too low, unhinged like a snake's. Strings of thick, dark drool dripped onto the floor. His breath reeked of copper and rot. I swung the knife, hard. It sank in, right into his chest. He didn't even flinch. He just laughed, this deep, gurgling sound that shook the walls. And then he leaned in and whispered, hot against my ear, "Now the fun starts." Everything after that, it's flashes, screaming, horns honking, wet tearing sounds, my own voice begging, choking on blood, hands, so many hands pulling me into the dark. When I woke up, I was here. This room smells like mold and rust. There's no windows, no door I can see, just concrete walls and balloons, hundreds of them, pressed to the ceiling, swaying like they're breathing, and there's writing on every single one: smile, laugh, forever. I hear footsteps again, squeaking shoes. They're coming back. If you're watching this, please don't ever, ever try to hire a clown online. Because when they say, "We promise you'll never forget us," what they really mean is, you'll never leave.
Subscribe to Horror Story